Next, we have Washington. Their win total set at 9 or 9.5. Kalen DeBoer, yet another first-year coach in the Pac-12 last year, and yet another first-year coach of the Pac-12 who did a really good job in year one. Last year, they won 11-2, which was a huge change for Washington. They had really struggled under the previous regime, and it seems like DeBoer just came in, and it's amazing what someone with a solid offensive mind can do when your offense is just trash. Sure. And bring back Michael Penix, bring back one of the best receiving cores in the country. I mean, honestly, you're talking Adunze, McMillan, there's another guy, Polk. Like, they have three really good receivers. Penix needs to stay healthy. They got kind of lucky with that last year. Just looking at his past at Indiana, always seemed to get hurt. But they have a good offensive line, so it's not necessarily just luck. Like, there is something to that where they did keep them fairly clean last year. Every interior defensive lineman on the team is back. They have some good edge rushers. Lost some DBs, but the Washington recruits there fairly well. I think their defense is going to be solid. Like, they're probably not as good as like Oregon's defense or, some of the others around the country, but their offense is so good. Like, this is clearly a Pac-12 contender.
100% agree. You mentioned how great the offense is. Mm-hmm. I agree. I agree on all accounts. When I look at this, though, it's the schedule for me, and it is a difficult schedule. They have Utah and Oregon. Those are home games. They go to USC. They go to Oregon State. Those are tricky games. Like, we can just say it. Those are tough games. And the number at 9.5, which is what I'm showing, is
you can get high. A 9 as well, but yeah, 9 or 9.5.
I would probably go 9.5 and take the under. I think they probably finish 9-3. Like, there's some really tough games there. I hate, I love Washington. I love all of these teams. That's kind of my problem. I have all of these teams at the top of the Pac-12 are so good. I like Washington. Like, Washington could give a lot of teams in the SEC trouble. Like, they would be a problem in the SEC East this year. So I agree that they're really good. I have someone losing these games, and I think they lose to USC. I think they lose to Utah, and I think they lose to Oregon. And I think they beat Oregon State for what it's worth. And I think they finish 9-3. I think they have a really good year, but that's still the under here.
Yeah, I think there's 8 games that they absolutely should win, 4 that they could lose. They could win. They could beat all of those teams you mentioned. I don't know which 3 they lose. I think they probably do lose 3. I'm with you. And part of the reason I feel that way is just because of Penix's injury history. He was healthy last year. I kind of like Indiana football. I kind of follow them a little bit as sort of that fun team that never seriously competes for anything, but it's just kind of fun to follow. He was a baller. He's always been a baller, but man, he's gotten hurt a lot. So that's another reason why I would also agree with you, just leaning slightly under on them. Kind of disappointing. Hey, we're just constantly agreeing, but yeah, go ahead.
True, fair enough. I was going to say that away matchup at Michigan State, that has to just terrify Washington, right? Like, they have no chance of throwing the ball on that defense.
No sarcasm there at all.
No.
Yeah, last year we thought that would be a really good matchup, and then Washington just came out and just chucked the ball over the yard against them. So I would expect that to probably happen again.
Yeah.